That's so weird. Okay.
Very weird.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, all right. Let's. I guess we'll. Guess we'll do. Let's do a redo. A mulligan.
Yeah, yep. Good
Since
old
nobody heard
mulligan.
anything that I said, or either one of us said in the last like 10 minutes, let's have a redo.
Yes. Yep.
What's
Let's
up,
have a
everybody?
quick rush.
There's always some sort of technical difficulties every time.
Voice.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Digital Denizens, where we live to discuss all things in the ever-expansive gaming realm. Today is July 23rd, episode 40, and I am your host, Keith Whalen, aka the Gamer Stache. Alongside me, I am joined by a good friend of the show, Alec Martelle from Rapid Chatter Podcast. How the hell are you doing, man?
Doing very well, just like I said before. Good to see your handsome face again.
Good to see your handsome face as well. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's good to have you on the show. We've got an intriguing episode ahead of us full of loops, pixels, and nonsense. But before we do, if you guys want to write into the podcast and have us read your funny anecdotes, interesting or emotionally charged video game stories, offer up ridiculous life questions like, what are the secret boots? Well, if you've ever played Castlevania, then you know there are dozens of fashion accessories to find in Symphony of the Night. But none of them are as bewildering or as superficial as the secret boots. Most of the clothing items in the game increase Alucard's stats and grant him special abilities, but the secret boots barely do anything. The in-game description explains that the boots discreetly increase height, and Alucard's sprite is stretched vertically by just a few pixels when he wears them. The impact is so inconsequential, you'd probably never even notice if the game didn't tell you. The difference is trivial even if you look at the sprites side by side, which I understand why an A-list celebrity might feel compelled to wear lifts on the red carpet, but there's really no practical reason why a vampire hiding Dampier would need to wear them in a haunted castle. Questions? Concerns? No? It's just strange. I don't know, man. Some of the shit that they put in video games when we were kids is just like, why?
Oh,
Why?
yeah. Just because they could,
Just because they
probably.
could. Yeah. I mean, I think games were different back then too, where they had to like sneak in these little things that it's just like, we're just gonna mess with you, you know? Here you go. But if you guys want to write in, or if you just want to share with us what you're currently playing, we'd be thrilled to share your thoughts with the rest of the listeners. Um, you can write into Facebook at Digital Denizens or Instagram at digital_denizens and let us know. We also have our segment, which we'll do right after this, which is called the Pixel to Pixel, where we make mentions, shout outs to those who would like us to. And we also have a series of episodes called the Content Creation Corner. We got a couple out there already. I haven't resumed them since the most recent hiatus that I had. But this is where we bring in streamers, YouTubers, podcasters, artists, any talented individual within the gaming industry onto the show, interview them, talk about what they do, why they do what they do, and what motivates them to keep going. So we had one of the episodes we did. We had Alec on where we talked about podcasts and things like that. We've had Chad on from when he was part of JYA. And now he's fanboying the snob. So it's just like really cool to kind of get into the minds of some of these people and understand why they do what they do and how they got started into it, what kind of gear they use. All that kind of stuff is really helpful for people looking to get into podcasting or doing a stream, a content creation channel of some sort. So this is also in tandem with New Game Plus Network, where we try to link up with some of these people. We have the Discord, which Alec is part of. We got all of the groups from New Game Plus Network where we can kind of come, hang out and chat, share butt memes, you name it. All of these random
The
things.
butt memes.
The butt memes. It's one of my favorite things. I don't know why it was added, but I'm glad that it was added. But yeah, so we also try to aim it towards like mental well-being and things like that, because I think in any facet of life, people struggle with depression and anxiety and things like that. And I think especially within like the creative realm of like being a content creator, like that can be a lot on you to the point where like you struggle to push forward past some of those barriers. And so we try to be there for each other, and it's just like a safe haven for people to come and not be judged and just, vent to us or whatever. And we try to help lift each other and build each other up instead of like tearing each other down for no apparent reason. So like Alec's podcast, we try to promote some of his stuff on there. You guys are more than welcome to post your own channel updates and things like that to help spread the word. So we only get to the top with each other, not by ourselves. So if you guys are looking to get in some merch from New Game Plus Network, I have like the Digital Denizens t-shirt, which I created, and we put them on Storefrontier. So it's Storefrontier at jyachannel.com. We'll have to get Alec and some of his merch on there as well. And it's really cool because you don't have to pay for the merch ahead of time. It's all made to order. So you order it, and then we get, yeah, you know what I mean. Words. Speaking of merch, if you guys are interested in some really awesome merch, we're sponsored by Devoted Saint Retro, which is Matthew Philandro. He's part of New Game Plus Network. He makes really cool wood art with using his CNC machine, just like laser precise. He makes like controller stands. He does like takes the art from the marquee art over the top from the old arcade machines and builds them like in a wood box and puts like LEDs in there. But he can also do a lot of really cool stuff. Like if you message him, he'll make something. If you have any ideas of something particular that you want, he'll do custom stuff, which is cool. You can find him on Instagram at Devoted Saint Retro. There's a shop link there, or you can go straight to the website, which is devotedsaintretro.com, and you can use the discount code, which is devotedsaintretro.com/discount/DD10, and this code is good for one time per use email. So you sign up with your email, you use the code, and then that's it. So we also have the series Next Gen, which we will be bringing back soon at some point. We have usually Leslie's daughter come on, and we talk about games with her and kind of what teens are into, because I think that opens up the audience. Like if parents are like, I don't know what my kids are into, maybe I should check out this Digital Denizens podcast. Find out what kind of games they want for Christmas or for their birthday, or kids, they want a podcast that they can listen to without like having profanity and things like that. Or at least we try to keep it light. So we do our best, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you guys, I don't know if I mentioned, you can write into us, Facebook at Digital Denizens, Instagram at Digital_Denizens. And of course, if you have any feedback for us, that's always appreciated and helps us to improve the show. I'm going to take a sip real quick. If you're watching the video version of the podcast, you can find the links down below under my picture, under my face, and underneath Alex. So Pixel to Pixel will do our mentions real quick. So we got Fanboy and the Snob. That is Chad Paquin and Chris Rocco. They run the podcast that covers games, comics, movies, TV, and other relevant or non-relevant topics, which actually I am the third member of that podcast now. Yeah. So we usually do it like every other Monday so far. And we try to do it bi-weekly just so that we have enough content and things like that. But they also do on their own, Chris and Chad, they do other like reviews of movies and games and comics and things like that, which is really cool. So please go check them out. You can find them over on Instagram at Fanboy and the Snob. There's a link tree where you can get to all of their content, like on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, Overcast, and I believe YouTube is where they post all their videos and everything. So let's see, who do we got here? Leslie Morales. She is Sector 7 Item Shop. She's part of New Game Plus as well. She creates gaming related art and merch. Really awesome stuff. Like I have it's like a resin tray from Cyberpunk, made out of wood, and it's painted, and it's got the resin in there with like cool Cyberpunk logo in the back. She makes like really cool like wooden Shinra boxes from Final Fantasy VII. She does a lot of more like Final Fantasy VII sort of art and things like that, but she also does custom stuff. Like if you're looking for something in particular, I'm sure she would be willing to make it for you as well. So she's awesome. You can find her shop over in the Sector 7 slums, just around the corner. Hang a left and just a dash up the stairs. And if you can't find that, then just go to Instagram at Sector 7 Item Shop.
Or help you if you can't find it.
Yeah, we try to help you. Yeah, we'll try to give you directions. I mean, it's not that hard to get around the slums. I mean, come on. But she's got a link tree to get to her website as well, which is awesome. So we got Vile Shrew. He's a Twitch streamer, YouTube content creator. He's been on the show a couple times here and there. He does like kind of a whole slew of different things like Fall Guys, Valorant, CSGO, you name it. And he also does streams with his wife sometimes where they play games together. He does a cooking stream and sort of like a mixology, like fancy drink stream, which is really cool. Yeah, so if you're into all that kind of stuff, it's awesome. What do we got here? AJ Volpe. He is All for Gamers and A4GZ on Twitch. He's got a shop through Instagram where he sells gaming merch and tiny arcades. I wish I had the one that I have. It's the 1989 Ninja Turtles gaming arcade. It's a little miniature one.
Yes.
It's so freaking cool, man. So you can get those. You can get like a mystery box, which has like one of those. He also has like little mini pinball machines. It comes with like little candies like shaped like NES controllers, and there's like a bunch of goodies and stuff in there, which is really cool. And I think he sells like some games and things too, like old, more retro games on his website that he's acquired over time. And then his other leg of his company is streaming on Twitch, which I know recently he's been doing Pokemon Mondays. He was recently streaming like the Uncharted games. I think he's on Uncharted 3. And I think he was just gonna be. I think he was gonna be doing. I think on Monday he might have done the Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword, the remaster that was just released on the Switch. So that's pretty cool. You can find him on Instagram at All4Gamers, allforgamers.com, Facebook at All4Gamers, twitch.tv/A4GZ, youtube.com/All4Gamers. So please go check him out. We have Fingers421. He's also a Twitch streamer. He mostly does Valorant, but he is a funny ass individual. So please go show him some love. Go check him out. You can find him on Instagram at Fingers421 and twitch.tv/Fingers421. Deadly Anime Squad, another Twitch streamer. I'll just name off some of the stuff that he does. He streams all the freaking time. And I know he was playing like Borderlands 3, did Days Gone, Outriders, Ghost of Tsushima, MLB The Show 19. He tries to keep it pretty current with like most of his games and stuff. What's that?
I was just like, damn, that's a list.
Yeah, I mean, like he literally streams like 24 hours a day. I don't know if he has a job. I mean, good for you, man. Like if you're making money like streaming and shit, like
yeah, do it.
I don't know that he ever I don't think he ever talks during his stream, but I mean it's not a bad thing. I just, most of the streamers you watch, like they're very like interactive and stuff like that with the chat and stuff. But really cool dude. He does help to promote a lot of Twitch streamers and like kind of rally people into their lobbies, into their like chats and stuff to keep it, keep people watching and sharing with other people. So like I think that's really cool that he's like helping to promote other Twitch streamers and content creators. You can find him on twitch.tv/Deadly Anime Squad and Instagram at Deadly Anime Squad 1. We have Dan and Nick from What the Famicom. That's a gaming podcast for people who hate gaming podcasts, because who likes gaming podcasts? I mean, really. Let's be
Buddy, I don't know a soul.
Nobody, exactly. Nobody listens. Wait, aren't we on a gaming podcast right now?
No.
No.
Not at all. No.
It's about like home improvement and shit. Like
Yeah.
Do it yourself, like house flippers. Yeah.
Yeah. So down today, we're gonna show you how to fix the toilet. Right.
Yeah. I'm gonna show you how to plunge that toilet, kid.
Plunge it real good.
Plunge it real good. They're really funny guys though. They mostly cover like a lot of retro games and stuff on their podcast. They're really cool. You can find them on Instagram at What the Famicom, and there's a link tree in their bio to get to all of their audio and video and stuff like that. We have, let's see. Oh, and then I wanted to mention, give Alec a chance to talk about what he does real quick here. Let me find. I know it's in my list here. Oh yeah, sorry. So you do the Rapid Chatter podcast, and what would you say your podcast is generally about for the most part?
Yeah, so I try to target it as more of a variety show where I'll just have people on and we can talk about whatever topic you're really passionate about. If that's weightlifting or music, I've interviewed a couple friends of mine that have their own bands, so I just like talk to them about their passion with that and how they got started, and then
Yeah.
talked about just the evolution of games, how like nerddom is more mainstream than it was when we
Yeah.
were kids, and
Oh yeah.
um, and I also do some like solo-ish content where like I did one where it was the anime starter pack,
Oh, that's
like
right.
volume one, and then I had people either write in or sent me voice messages on anime that they recommend to people.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I still got to return the favor and come on your podcast too.
Oh yeah. We'll probably do that soon because I've been slowly
Getting back into it.
slowly building up my recordings again. So
Nice. That's awesome, man. Very
that'd be
cool.
good.
So where can everybody find you at for your podcast and socials and everything?
So it would be, oh gosh, I gotta remember the website, anchor.fm/rapid chatters, where you could pretty much find everything.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. Let's see here. All right. So shall we dive into it?
I'm ready to dive.
Ready to dive. Video games. Video games. Video games? Video games.
De los Juegos.
All right. What are you buying? What are you playing? So this is our segment where we talk about the games that we're playing, obviously. So Alec, what have you been playing lately, man?
So I haven't been playing a lot. I've been playing Destiny 2 with some coworkers.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never played Destiny 2 specifically. I played Vanilla Destiny way back in the day. Like
Yeah.
Destiny 1. So Destiny 2 was like, I was like, what? Like, just so much stuff going on. But
There's
it's been
a
really
lot.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's been fun just playing like a first-person shooter, something kind of casual, but also like has all of those good RPG elements that I like.
Yeah, it's really
so
cool,
good.
and they've added a ton of content to Destiny 2 over the years. And I think it's only gotten better. I think since what was it? They like Activision left and
Yeah.
Bungie.
Yeah, they
3-4 was it Bungie? Yeah, Bungie took over.
yeah.
Yeah, so like I
Yeah,
think
Bungie split from Activision. They said, you know what,
we're gonna
we're
do
just-
this ourselves.
we're gonna dip. So
Yeah, that's awesome. It's really cool to see that. That's awesome. What else have you been up to?
I've been also been playing the game of like getting fit and going to the gym.
What's that? What is this game you speak of? I don't recognize this one.
It requires a lot of hard work, more than I thought it did, and a lot of sweat, literal sweat. But yeah,
Sounds like a
it's
lot of
been good.
things that I don't like.
Yeah, especially because you live in Michigan too, and it's just been like sweltering
Yeah, it's been really humid.
with Yeah, it's been bad, but I've been going to the gym a lot. It's been just helping me with a lot of like things going on in my life and just mental stableness.
Yeah, no, I feel
guess.
you.
It's been super good to get back into that.
Mhm.
Been good. My goal is to go 6 days this week, and I've done 5 so far, so I just gotta go tomorrow. I feel like I want to die.
Oh
But
God. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, you're just running your body down, you know. But I mean, but
Yep.
it's good. I mean, you get used to it. You start to sort of
Oh
plateau
yeah.
where you know you're not feeling it as much, you know, which is
Yes,
cool.
exactly. The endurance gets to you eventually. And then as far as buying games, I did buy a couple of gems finally.
Oh, nice.
I'm an Atlas slut, so I got the 13 Sentinels Aegis or Aegis Rim,
Aegis.
whatever you want to say.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yep. So I got that because I got it for like $5. It was on sale for
Nice.
25, and then I had a $20 reward thing, so I just did
Good
that. And then I
find.
got the HD remaster remake of Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne,
Mm.
which
I've heard good things about those games. I've not played any of them though.
I haven't played the 13 Sentinels like at all before, but I did play the PS2 version a little bit of Nocturne, and it's really hard from what I remember. So if it's it's
Anything like
like
that.
yeah, it's I hate using this comparison, but it's like the Dark Souls of turn-based RPGs,
Oh wow.
basically. So
Yeah.
maybe not that bad, but it's up there. Yeah,
It's like a couple pegs below.
yeah, yeah.
That's cool, man.
Good
Very
stuff.
cool. That's awesome. So I've been playing a couple different games, trying to get back in. I started playing Sniper Elite VR, on the Valve Index. Um, I love the Sniper Elite games. They're really awesome. Me and my brother played like a lot of the survival maps and things together on Sniper Elite 4. This unfortunately does not have co-op. At least they haven't announced anything yet. So it's just like single player campaign. Um, it there were some issues when I first started playing it, which recently they've done some like patches to it to kind of fix some of that. Like at first, I was playing the game and like looking at your hands in VR, they were like 15 centimeters off from where my hands actually were. So that was weird trying
Uh,
to like do certain things, and it was just like a lot of like weird glitchy stuff where like I would go to like reload my rifle and I'd like accidentally grab my pistol, and I'm like, no, I don't, I don't fucking want that, and we just weird things like that. And then I was like, so you can crouch in real life, obviously, but then like there's only a button. Like if you want to actually go into stealth where it matters, you have to hit a button, and like your vision, there's like this vignette that comes around your vision that's like kind of darker,
okay.
and then you hear like a
Yeah.
noise, and then like if enemies spot you, there's like a sort of like a meter that goes up. Um, and so like I was getting caught like all the freaking time, and I was like, why are they like catching me? So I don't think they've updated that yet. So in order to actually go into stealth, you still have to hit the button to like virtually crouch, and I think that's kind of dumb that it doesn't recognize that because other games have done it
Yeah.
and it works. Plus
Sure.
also there was like some other weird things where like there's like the well rod pistol. It's like a silence pistol that you have to pull the thing back on it every shot. Um,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
yeah, it's cool, but like I was like a couple feet behind the dude and went to shoot him in the head, and like it totally missed him. And then he's like, "Hey, what?" I mean, but in German, obviously. But was ist das? And so I was just like, what the hell? Like, it was just like really frustrating. So I like put it down for a couple days. I let them do like some updates to it. I came back to it. It seemed to be like a better all around experience, but I did notice that there's just like some weird inconsistencies with like, I was expecting a better, more polished sort of experience when you're using other weapons because you have the pistols, you have like SMGs, you have a shotgun that you get. Like the attention, it seems like most of it is on the sniper rifles, which is not a bad thing because I mean it's Sniper Elite, so like that's what you want. But if you
Yeah.
get caught, you get into like some firefights with the Germans, and you're using your SMG and stuff like that. And some of the accuracy with like some of the guns is kind of off and feels weird sometimes. So, and comparing it to another recent VR game, which is the Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, which is the World War II game for Oculus. Going from that, like I definitely felt that the weapons were better in that game overall, minus the sniping. Like the sniper rifles in Sniper Elite VR are excellent, because they brought over like the X-ray sort of
Oh,
mechanic.
really? That's cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so you can have it so like when you take like you can focus in. So what I really like is when you're looking down the scope on the sniper rifle, like it's really cool because I think it's done the best that any other game that I've seen in VR, where like your vision doesn't clip through the sniper scope. It's like perfectly well done. It like when you go to focus, it like slows down everything. You can hear your heartbeat, and it kind of pulls the scope a little bit bigger and into your eye. So then like it's just like perfect the way you're looking through it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then so you go to take the shot and you get like a critical shot. It follows the bullet into the guy and it shows the X-ray sort of thing where it goes like either through his like heart or like liver or something like that, or through his skull, and you see the bones shatter, testicles explode if you get a testicle shot, which is fun.
Good.
It's just yeah, I think it was really cool the way they did all that kind of stuff. So, and I'm sure these are things that they're gonna fix along the way as well. So I'm not like it's not like I've lost hope on it and just like no, I want my money back. Like it's cool what's there. I think some of it could just be a little bit more like some tweaks and things here and there that can make it a little bit better. Plus, if they added co-op for like survival missions, like opened up the maps a little bit more, that would be freaking awesome to be able to play with like friends. I think that would be sweet. So yeah, I think let me see here. I think I pulled up. So there's like an update list here of things that they fixed. They also added, because I did try it with, I have like a gun stock for my VR that I use with like magnet mounts and stuff, and it was okay, but it was just like when you go to like put your hands back on the rifle and things, it was just like the alignment was weird. So it didn't always line up the right way that you wanted it to, and trying to take shots, it was a little bit like problematic. So it looks like they added like full like gun stock support, so that way it actually lines up better. And I guess they were having some issues with like a HP Reverb G2 headset, so now that's officially supported. Trying to think of some other things. They fixed some of the tutorials because they didn't explain like you can also use the focus mode on all of the weapons, not just sniper rifles. You can use it on the pistol and your SMG. So if you're going to take like a specific shot and you want to get a headshot, then you can go ahead and do that. Yeah, there's just some other weird things that they fixed. General AI, I think they made some of the enemy detection. A lot of people complained it was too fast, which was like some of the issues I was having. So they slowed it down a little bit so you don't get caught as fast. The cooldown is a little slower to help with like stealth situations and stuff like that. So, and then some other audio improvements that they made too. So, yeah, I think it's a really cool game. I think it, it'd probably be good to jump into it and see if you like it. But I guess it depends on certain headsets, so maybe try it. If you don't like it or are having issues with it, maybe just set it aside for a little bit and let them patch it up and then give it a shot. The other game I've been playing is Compound VR. This game is freaking awesome. It's like an old school pixelated first person shooter like Doom, but in
Cool.
yeah,
Okay.
but it's in VR. I did like in the links down below in the doc that I sent you. There was a link for it, and I think it's to the Steam page. I want to say the graphics are freaking awesome. They did update some of it, so they're not. I don't think like the screenshots and video that they show are like super current. It looks like that was from like a year or so ago, but because like in the video on Steam, it doesn't show the hands holding the weapons, and now they actually have like fully articulated hands, like you can move all your fingers with if you have the index controllers, and it's like a roguelite sort of shooter. So if you die, you have to restart from the beginning, but if you keep going and you beat the whole loop, then you go through the second loop and you're like constantly like finding new weapons and fighting new enemies. Like they get stronger and harder every loop that you go through. And it's just like it's super cool. Like the graphics are really awesome, and the sound
Yeah.
effects and everything. The music is very like retro, such a freaking cool game. So it's just
Yeah, looking at the trailer right now, and you hit the nail on the head by calling it like pixelated Doom.
yeah.
but in VR, it looks great.
Yeah, it's super awesome. And then they also added like cool like mutations you can like inject yourself with at this like vending machine in before you start a run. And then like they all have like perks, but there's always a downside to each one of them too. So yeah, like the one I was using was like you don't have to it auto reloads all of your weapons when you run out of bullets with a new magazine, but the reloading is slower than if you were doing it just by hand.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh,
But it just means you can dual wield and just keep freaking going through the levels and like blasting everybody as you're going through. So,
fantastic.
yeah, so there's no like story or anything to it. It's just fun. It's a good like stress reliever, after a long week of work and you just want to just want to blast some people, you know what
Sort of blast.
I'm saying? But not do it in real life, It's a good way to,
Exactly.
get
Yeah,
all that
this is the
aggression.
safe way to do it.
The safe way, that's right. Um, I've also been playing, like the other night, I started playing the new update to GTA Online, which is called the Los Santos Tuners update. This is really cool because it's like Fast and the Furious on steroids. Yeah, so yeah, they added like I think 10 new cars or something to the game, and they're all like specific to being like Fast and the Furious style cars. Like they have like the Mazda RX-7 sort of car. They have like it looks like I want to say it's like the Nissan 240Z. Um, there's like the Honda S2000. There's like a like an older Mustang that you can soup up and everything. And so there's like a lot of really cool like body kits and stuff that they added and new liveries to the cars to make them look very like flashy and stuff, like in the Fast and the Furious. But one thing they also added with that is low grip tires. So if you want to get into like drifting and stuff, so yeah, it's super cool. And they added so they call it like LS Swap Meet or LS Meet or something like that. So it's like this underground garage that you can go to and it's like this underground car show. So you can walk around and like look at other people's cars. You can have your car, you can set it to like open the doors, have the neons on, the lights on. Um, Open the hood so you can like look at the engine and everything. You can rev your car or whatever. Um, but they added all these new like competition races that are aimed towards like these tuner cars. There's like new heists and missions that you can do that are associated with all of this. So you get like this membership to join the club. Essentially, it's like 50,000 in-game dollars, which I'm like, this is so stupid. Why do they make you do that if they're adding this update? But it's GTA.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then you have to and then you can buy like an auto shop, which I had a free one. So like, there's other ones you can get that might be nicer or whatever, but those you have to pay for. But the one I got was free. But then you can put money into changing it and customizing it and making it look nicer. And so when you do that, you get like discounts on like adding customizing your car. So like otherwise, if you were to take it to another body shop, it'd be more expensive. But it gives you like different perks like that. It opens up these new heist missions that you can access where you have to like set up all the prep and everything for them, like robbing banks and doing all this kind of stuff. Um, and so then alongside that, there's like the custom races or whatever that you can do. And then in that underground parking garage, there's like a test track where you can go down there and you earn like a reputation by doing all of these different like facets involved in the update, missions, races, whatever. You build up your reputation, which like unlocks new upgrades for your cars, liveries for your cars, like clothing, and you name it, whatever. But you can go on the test track and you can race your friends and stuff. And I spent like a good hour just like racing down there with like the low grip tires and just drifting that track, and and it feels good. Like I think they did a really good job with like using those tires and adding like the drifting into the game. Like it was really awesome. So I kept beating my personal time down there, just like shaving off seconds, getting used to it and stuff, because it's a little tricky, like trying to get the
Yeah.
perfect drifts, and like you kind of lose traction a little bit and spin out. But I got really good with it. Yeah, so I think it's really cool. It's a really cool update. I think it adds a lot of interesting stuff to the game. It's GTA, so
I got to get into GTA Online one of these days. But
You've never played the online for it?
no, I haven't. It looks fun though.
It is fun. I
I'll have
think
to.
like I've played with my brother and stuff before where, we just kind of run around and we'll do like missions. Like I think it was like a couple months ago we played I think the most not the most recent, but they had like the casino heist. So you do this like super elaborate like Ocean's 11 style like casino heist. You get like disguises to
Okay.
get into certain entrances, and the more you do it, you unlock different ways to get into the casino and do it differently. Um,
Okay.
which is really cool. And you can do it with like up to 4 people, and so you all have like different jobs that you have to do and all that kind of stuff. You have to break into the vault, take the money, get out within like a certain amount of time, and then you're running like once you get out, you're being chased by like the SWAT team. You need to get to your like escape helicopter, and it's just like it's madness, but it's awesome. But I
Yeah.
think the most recent update after that they added it was like the El Perico heist or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. But it adds like this other island that you go to, and then you go. It's like a mini Cuba or something like that. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't played
Yeah.
that one, but yeah, they always add like a lot of really cool stuff associated with that, like new properties that you can buy that add like a new business to your whole setup, and then you can make money from those businesses. So it's like you don't have to just make money from doing these missions and things. You can do it from like setting up your business and selling supplies and different things like that, which add to it. So it's pretty cool. Um, other than that, I jumped back into The Last of Us Part Two, my new game plus, which like once you get to a certain point in the game, it like unlocks all of the weapons that you had.
Yes.
So like
Love it.
yes,
It
there's
makes life so much easier.
it really does because like I was flipping through my weapons and I was like, oh, I have like the silenced SMG that you get at the very end of the game in that last segment.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So helpful.
Yeah, dude. Like there was one point where like I walked through. It was like in that main area where you're like walking. You're like with Dina on the horse in that big open area where you're trying to like unlock the gate or whatever. Yeah, and you go into this like little shop or whatever, and I went into the bathroom, and there was a clicker right there. I was just like blah, blah, blah. Shot it. And I was like, oh wow, that was good
It's like,
reflexes, and it's
oh,
dead.
there we go. Yep. For me, like one of the most realizing parts for me where I was like, wow, this made this section so much easier. You remember when you go into that like want to say it's like some sort of like pharmacy or something like that, and you go to open a door,
Yeah.
and then one of the scars like busts open the door as
Oh
you're like
yeah,
opening it, right? Yeah,
yeah.
and he's like a big berserker dude.
That's
I
right.
just had I had the explosive arrow, so I was just like
Took him out in
done.
one.
Yeah.
I think was that the one. I think that's in the convenience store. Is what you're thinking of? Is that the first time
Yeah, yeah, because
you encounter him? I think for the
I
first
bel
time.
yeah, one of the first times for sure. Yeah, yeah, because it's Ellie by herself. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part's really cool. But I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, so it's cool. And then there's like other cheats that you
Love
can
that game.
activate, like where you don't have to worry about like getting ammo or like upgrading your like or
Yep.
crafting and stuff. Like you don't have to worry about picking up supplies. Which like if you already went through the first time, like I don't see why you have to. So it's just fun
Exactly.
to kind of play around with that stuff a little bit. But yeah, it's still such an excellent game. It's been long enough that I'm like, I don't remember everything, all of like the twists and turns that happen. Obviously, you remember the very beginning of the game, which I was just like, that's
Mm-hmm.
still so sad every time I watch it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God
Yep. Yeah.
damn it.
God, I gotta ask one of my friends where he's at because he texted me a few, probably just a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago at the very most,
Yeah.
and he's playing it for the first time, and he somehow didn't get any spoilers, but he told me like that he cried during the
I did
beginning,
too, dude, man.
basically.
Yeah, it's so sad because you're like, I'm one of my favorite characters, you know?
Yep. Oh, I could go on about that game for hours. I almost want to play it again, even though I platinumed it. But
Oh, did you? Nice.
yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah, it's such a great game, man. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. I know a lot of people had like their issues with it, but I don't know. I mean, you can't really fault the creators for writing a story and being like, no, that's wrong. Like, no, I mean they made it, so they wrote it.
Yeah, because I mean, with anything, not everybody's gonna like it, but it's like,
Right. Well, and I think, a lot of people forget too. Like, it's a post-apocalyptic game. It's not really supposed to have a happy ending.
no, it's like, did you expect any of this to be like happy?
Right. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
even the first one, the way that it ended wasn't a happy ending. I mean, like, yeah.
and even how it began, like.
Right. Exactly.
It's like I think that kind of sets the tone for this universe
It
that
really does. Yeah.
anything can happen.
But they do such a great job with like the just the character arcs and stuff, and making it such a believable story, that like not a lot of developers really, they just don't get that as much. You know, like they they understand people and like relationships and things like that, and how they work together and how voice actors work together. Whereas like other games, it just don't, they just don't nail it as good as they're able to.
Yeah, and like I get sick of people when they say specifically with this game that it's all it is a revenge story. I'm like, I mean, no, you're not wrong,
Yeah,
but it's so much more than that. And then
it is. Yeah,
I can't really think of too many games where there's a character in it that I hated in the very beginning, and then it grew to be my she grew to be my favorite character or one of my favorite characters by the end.
yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, because Abby, you know, a lot of people are like, why, you know, like why did you make us play as her? Like she's evil, and it's like no, but when you get through
Is
it,
she though?
is she? Yeah, right. Is she really though? I mean, and like that's the thing is like it is a revenge story, like you know at the heart of it, but it's interesting because you see like Ellie and Abby being on like two different planes of, or two different timelines of that same revenge path. Like Ellie
Yeah,
is just beginning that revenge path, whereas like Abby has already been on
he's
it.
at the end.
Yeah, she's at the end of it. She's like letting go of it and learning to cope with it, and like kind of over it at towards the end of it. And you know, Ellie's just like, I'm stopping at nothing to, you know, kill you.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
and what's interesting about it too is just like how Abby, even though she fulfilled that thing, obviously we see that it didn't help.
right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. She's still like, you know, just sad about it because revenge doesn't solve anything. It's just like a vicious cycle, you know. So yeah, it's a very interesting game. You know, there are dynamics in there that other games just don't ever pull off. You know, so so yeah, it's cool going back through it again. All right, let's see here. What do we got? What do you say we get into the news? So I pulled a bunch of news here that I wanted to get into. Let's see here. Where's all my stuff? Not that. No. Okay, so the first thing is the Steam Deck. Valve
yeah.
is making almost like a Switch like console, but it's a PC, like a handheld PC essentially. Um, this is pretty interesting because I guess you'll be able to buy like a dock separately at some point, where you can dock it in like the Switch and hook it up to your TV. So I think this is really cool because it's kind of appealing to a lot of different people. For people who don't have a PC. Oh, I mean, I guess you could have one even if you did have a PC. But I think this is really cool because it appeals to people who are like, well, I don't have the money to buy a PC, or I don't want to get into building a PC. Like, I just want something that I can just plug in and play or take with me on the go, which I think is awesome. So, like, you can pretty much play your entire Steam library on this Switch-like handheld console. And it even has, like, little track pads on it, too, that act like a mouse, essentially, which I think is
Yep.
really awesome. Um, I'm not as, like, I know they're saying, like, the price on this thing is, like, they're being reasonable. Um, but I still think it's, like, I still feel like it's very expensive because I think it's for like the most expensive and like highest storage capacity. It's like, I want to say it's like 256 gigabytes, and this thing's like
Yeah,
650
yeah. I
bucks.
actually got. Yeah, I got the prices and versions real quick if you want me to say
Oh,
that.
yeah, go for it.
Uh, so at the base version is it's $400 for the 64 gigabyte version, and then
Hmm.
you can go up to 256 for 529, and then you can go up to 512 gigabytes for 649.
That's what it is. Yep, the 512 gigabyte. Which, like, I mean, that's a decent size, I guess, for like, I don't know. PC games, though, they take up a lot more space than like consoles do. So I think that's the thing you have to take into account. So you're still not going to be able to like, you're still going to run into that issue like you do with like the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, where you're going to run into like storage issues. You're like, oh, I got to uninstall this and then, to
Yeah.
install this game or whatever. I thought I heard though, it might be this article, or it might have been another one that they said you'll be able to swap out the SSDs for a bigger
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Yeah, I just read that too. It says all three versions will let you increase storage space with a micro SD card.
That's pretty cool. So like that's cool and everything, but it's I don't know. I still feel like in comparison, like yeah, you can play any game on your Steam library. It's gonna look better, I think, than a Switch. I think they said it's gonna be running at like 30 frames per second standard. Um, I don't know what the resolution of the screen is. Does it say on there?
Once so the well, I guess that make resolution makes sense. It's 1280 by 800.
Okay, that's pretty nice.
Uh, it's got 16 gigs of RAM in it. That's not too bad. And it's got a 60 hertz refresh rate.
Oh wow. It's got 16 gigs
You
of
see?
RAM in there.
Yeah, 16. Yep,
Wow.
1.6, and it's DDR5 RAM too. So
Holy
that's
shit.
not bad at all.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um.
yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. For me, I'm like, I don't know that I would want to spend that much, but at the same time, like, I guess my PC is like, it's pretty good. Like, I'm running a 2080 on my PC. I have, I think, like 16 gigs of RAM. I have an i7 processor, so like my computer is probably worth like at least 1,500, if not 2 grand. So
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree with you that this can be pretty appealing to people that want more power than a Switch, but don't necessarily want to spend like the. And to get a gaming laptop, you're gonna spend a grand at least,
that's
like
true. Yeah, that's
for
true.
something decent. So
I guess when you put
I
it,
do get what. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was just gonna say when you put it side by side with like some of these other things, I guess it does seem pretty reasonable, in
Yeah.
comparison. So
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty cool idea. I guess we'll see like how it works and everything because I know there was like some people were saying they're like, oh, it doesn't run Apex Legends and some of these other competitive ones, and I wonder if that's because like it requires like a good internet connection to keep it stable.
That would make sense.
So I
I was
wonder.
gonna see if. Oh, okay. The battery life on it. So if you can play Portal 2 for 4 hours on this thing, if you limit it to frames per second, you're gonna
Hmm,
be able to play it for 5 to 6.
that's not bad.
So okay, yeah, battery life isn't terrible considering
No.
how much power it's got. So
What's the Switch battery life usually? Isn't it probably like 5 hours or something like that?
yeah, I think it's gotten better because they have that like newer version of it.
I think that's the
So
one
I
that
think
I
it was
got
like
too.
I think that was like 5 to 6, maybe 6 to 7, depending on what you're playing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, so this is I don't know, this is pretty cool. It's a neat idea. As long as it does better than like the Steam machines did, like years ago.
yeah,
But and not that that was a
Yeah.
bad idea. I don't think that was a bad idea. I just think that it was ahead of its time, and I don't think people were ready for it.
Yeah, I think people are a lot more ready for this type of thing, where this is literally the most portable PC gaming machine that you can get.
Yeah,
So,
and especially if you're able to like dock it to your TV or something, even if you don't want to play like in handheld mode, you can be like, I'm gonna plug it into the dock, play in the TV, and then it's just you're playing PC games on your TV with like I would assume you could probably use like a Bluetooth controller or even plug the controller into the dock through USB or whatever, um, like you would on a PC. I guess like and I guess this is kind of aiming like you're not going to be using a mouse and keyboard because I think it runs off of the Steam OS, which is very similar to what the Steam machines had when those were popular or around. No, maybe not popular, but
when they were around
yeah,
is a
yeah,
good word.
and I think that's cool because if it's aiming towards like console users in a sense that want to get into PC gaming, most of them are probably going to use a controller or something like that anyway. So, um, does it say any? What does it say when it's supposed to come out? I want to say it was like 2022 or something like that. Oh,
Yeah, yep, quarter 2, 2022.
okay, yep. Um,
And I just found out too, real quick, that the storage that they use, they're using oh gosh, I lost the name of it. They're using like the newer versions of SSD in it, which
like the
is pretty
NVMe's.
nice too. Yeah. Yep. It's
Okay.
all yeah. So which that's pretty
Those are like
sweet.
those small sticks that you put in like the RAM slots or whatever, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I
So
think that's what the PlayStation 5
pretty
uses
fast.
too.
Yes. Yep. They use the better versions of the SSDs, which is, in case you don't know, it just makes your things run faster.
Yeah. Yeah, which I mean if you're comparing it to like the PlayStation 5, I mean that just means that this thing's probably going to load really fast, which is awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is exciting. It's cool. I'll think about maybe picking one up because I think that'd be cool to take my library with me on like a trip or something like that. Like if you're like, well, I'm not gonna bring my PC on vacation or whatever, but I'll take it on the plane
Right.
or in the car and just be able to like play some games along the way. And I think that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Um,
mean, it's might be a better alternative for some of you than the Nintendo Vita. I mean, the Nintendo Switch that they just released.
no
So
Vita.
yeah, as soon as they announced that it had an OLED screen, I'm like, ooh, poor Vita rolling in its grave right now.
I
It's like
know.
I had an OLED 10 years ago.
Seriously, man. I know. And
Poor thing.
the Vita was cool. Like I thought it was cool. It could have had better games. And I think that was pretty much like the only drawback to that was like it didn't have the library to support it.
Yeah, and then they had that really shitty proprietary like memory card, I think too. That
Yes.
that pissed a lot of people off. I remember,
That's what
but
Sony's good at, pissing people off. I mean, having
yeah.
proprietary stuff. Wait, same thing. Both? Yeah, why not? Oh my
Oh,
god. Oh wait, somebody in the chat. Keegsley. Hello. Thank you for joining. Oh, who dis? 2 hours until docked with good settings on average, I heard. Um 2 hours for is that for the Steam Deck? 2 hours until docked? Interesting. 6 hours on the OLED, and it's 9. The dock is also sold separately for the Steam Deck. Yes, that is true. You
okay.
can use wireless keyboard and mouse with the dock. Oh, that's cool. All
Oh,
right.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess yeah, that is pretty neat. Awesome. Thank you, Keegsley. Appreciate you stopping by. Next up we have apparently there's a teaser trailer for the Netflix upcoming animated Witcher film. This looks pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. It's called The Witcher: Nightmare of the Wolf, which I believe follows follows alongside Vesemir, which is Geralt from The Witcher. That's Geralt's like father figure essentially. Like he adopted Geralt and brought him into the fold of like being a Witcher. And this is like I think when Vesemir is a lot younger, I was like he doesn't look like Vesemir. Vesemir looked very old and had long hair and was very tired. But it looks sweet. I'm trying to think of what the animation reminds me of. It's not quite like the Castlevania Netflix show. Like there's some similarities that remind me of it a little bit, but it seems a little different.
It's a Witcher animated series. Anime series. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's an animated film. I thought it was gonna be a series
Uh,
initially, but it's just the movie. Um, but I know like CD Projekt Red also has like another thing going on with Netflix where they're doing a cyberpunk animated series, which is actually going to be
yes, I'm super excited for that because a really big anime studio called Studio Trigger is doing it, and they do
oh
like Kill la
nice.
Kill and some other animes as well. But
That's awesome. Um, yeah, I think that's supposed to come I think next year or something like that possibly. What was I think that it's called Edge Runners is what it is. Cyberpunk Edge
yeah,
Runners.
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that style that they're doing for the Witcher one. It does kind of remind me of that Castlevania look in a way.
a little bit. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
and the Castlevania show was awesome on Netflix. So, oh yeah,
that as well.
this is coming August 23rd, so a month from now. This is awesome. And it looks like voice cast features Theo James as Vesemir, Lara Pulver as Tetra, Graham McTavish as Deglin, and Mary McDonnell as Lady Zerbst. The film has been written and produced by Bo DeMeo and co-produced by the Witcher showrunner. Um, and executive producer Lauren Schmidt Hisrich, um, with studio Mears Kwang to Han directing. Okay, cool. Speaking of other series, there's also going to be a Blade Runner series, animated series, coming our way. So far, it's been announced, and they also announced the cast alongside who's going to be in it. And this is exciting too because in I think just before Blade Runner 2049 came out, there was an animated short that came out. I think it was called Blackout or something. And it was like 10 or 20 years before 2049. Let me see. The new Blade Runner series will take place in 2032, in between the events of the original movie and before Blade Runner 2049. The 2017 sequel starring Ryan Gosling. What little is known about the plot has it that the center of the story will be a female replicant, Ellie, who will be voiced by Jessica Henwick. She's had roles in Netflix Defenders series as well as voice work in Blood of Zeus. The new Blade Runner series has some strong creatives working behind it as well. Kamiyama, I'm gonna mess this up. Kenji Kamiyama and Shinji Aramaic will co-direct and have worked on a number of different projects together. Most recently were animated projects Ghost in the Shell SAC 2045, as well as the currently running series Ultraman. The latter has received positive critical reviews and is a follow-up to the popular Japanese series. The creative team will also have a hand in The Lord of the Rings, The War for Rohirrim. Rohirrim? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't know, man. I don't speak
Oh, they're
Elvish.
gonna make an anime on that too?
That's interesting. That's pretty cool.
Maybe?
Um, Other voices lending their talents to the Blade Runner series for the English version of the show will include Will-Yun Lee from Rampage, San Andreas, as well as Samira Wiley, who is best known for her roles in Orange is the New Black and Handmaid's Tale. Plus, Brian Cox is going to be in it as well, which he's pretty awesome. Um, what else we got? Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm excited about that. I love Blade Runner and anything cyberpunk, so this is like right up my alley.
Yeah, for
For
sure.
sure.
And as bad as it sounds, I still need to see both of those movies. I don't know why I haven't because I do love cyberpunk stuff as well. But it's good to know that these two guys making it have worked on Ghost in the Shell, which is basically like the Japanese version of Blade Runner. So
Right, exactly. Yeah. No, I definitely highly recommend watching both of the movies. They're both really good. Um, if you watch the first one, I would definitely watch like I think there's like the final cut or director's cut or
I
something.
I think I have the final cut, which I think is the definitive
That's what I want to. Yeah,
one.
I want to say
I
that is the
think.
definitive. Because there's sort of like different changes throughout that in each different version. Um, but yeah, it's an excellent like cyberpunk film noir sort of thing. It's fucking Harrison Ford. You can't say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's exciting. Um, Apparently, Metroid Prime Trilogy for the Switch is done, and Nintendo is holding on to it. There's
Hmm.
been a journalist claims that QA resources and potential marketing plans are holding off a remaster release. Metroid Prime Trilogy has already been finished development and is awaiting release. It's claimed. Let's see. Jeff Grubb from who claimed on the Giant Bomb show. I think this was like a couple weeks ago that Nintendo was holding off the release and announcement partly due to restricted QA resources during the pandemic and possibly to align it more closely with the release of Metroid Prime 4. Um, this matches with claims made by another key industry journalist as far back as 2019, as well as what VGC has been told independently. The game is done and Nintendo is holding it. I think Metroid Prime Trilogy is done, and whether they want to release it now or later depends on other factors. So, I mean, that kind of makes sense that they want to wait until Metroid Prime 4 is almost done or done. But we still don't know when Metroid Prime 4 is coming because, they scrapped the development of it with the first studio,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because I do remember them having I want to say CyberConnect 2 was the original people working on it, but
Something like that, yeah.
yeah, and then they saw what they were doing and was like, "Oh hell no!" and then scrapped it, and then it's like their internal team's doing it or something now. So it's like yeah. So
It's
who
so
knows when that
weird.
game's gonna come out?
Yeah. So, I mean, that kind of sucks, though, because it's like they could release it if it is ready. I mean, people want more games for the Switch. I fucking want the Metroid Prime trilogy, like HD remaster. Just give it to us, damn it.
Yeah, I get it from a marketing standpoint. They probably want to release both of those in probably like the same year, like
Right.
just one at the beginning and one at the end or something like that. But
Yeah, that makes sense. It just sucks. Like I just want to play it because I played the first one on GameCube when it initially came out, and then I think the second and third one came out on I want to say like Wii, and then they did like an HD remaster trilogy on the Wii and then Wii U. I want to say, but I never played those. But I heard they did update like all the controls and stuff, so it actually played a lot better than like when it was on GameCube and stuff, especially going back to the first one. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. I hope that they do announce it soon. Like I think it's cool that they're doing like some remasters of like Zelda and like bringing back some other games and things like that. But come on, it's fucking Metroid.
yeah, they remastered Skyward Sword before these. So how does that make you feel?
I know. I mean, good for people who like Zelda. That's fine. But I'm just. I don't know. I'm not dissing it. I'm not dissing it at all. It's just
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not a huge Zelda fan myself. I've always been more into like sci-fi and like Metroid and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. I tried really hard to get into Zelda, and I don't know why. There's something about it that I respect it, but
Same. Yeah.
I can't get
I
into it as
I
much as I
played
would like
them.
to.
I played the other like the N64 ones like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask when I was younger on N64. And then I started playing Breath of the Wild on the Switch, and I never finished it. And it's just, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's never really roped me in. I think like some other games have. But that's fine. You know, that's why there's all sorts of video games for every type of person because everybody likes different things.
Ish.
Ish.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens with that. Speaking of sci-fi and space games, Lone Echo 2 finally has a release date on the Oculus Rift platform. So, I don't know if you've ever played the first Lone Echo or heard of it or anything.
Huh?
It's the first Lone Echo is an excellent game. It was an Oculus Studio game, but it was made by Ready at Dawn, which they originally made the Order 1886.
1886, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and they kind of went off and started doing like VR games and like some other stuff. After that, they did Lone Echo for the Oculus. It was for the Oculus Rift. At the time, they had the Quest 1, but it wasn't. You know, now they have the Quest 2, which you can tether it to your PC. You can also stream it to your PC. You can stream your games from your PC to the headset. So like now you can play all of these games on the Oculus Quest 2. So and they stopped making the Rift S. I'm pretty sure now. So
Okay.
they're just focusing on that standalone headset as being like the all-in-one now. But Lone Echo is an
Yeah.
amazing fucking game. Like you play as a robot named Jack, and you're like the co-pilot to this like spaceship, and the captain Liv. You're like helping her on the ship, like do all this sort of things. Like this weird anomaly happens, and you basically have to like help her, like reset the power and stuff on the ship, and like restore order on the ship. And then you end up getting lost. Like you go to investigate the ship that like pops into the area. It's like this weird derelict ship, and you go in there, and it kind of reminds me of like Interstellar a little bit. Like
Okay.
it goes to this
Yeah.
weird kind of time loop, and you're trying to like find your way back and everything, and it leads to this like whole crazy adventure. But the coolest thing about it is like the space physics, like pulling yourself, like you can grab onto things and like pull yourself and use that as momentum to like float through the ship
Oh,
and stuff.
that's really cool. Yeah.
It's awesome.
That's really awesome.
And like everything is interactive. It's so freaking awesome. So this is just like really exciting to see them continue the story with Jack and Liv, and I think it's coming out on August 24th for $39.99. That's actually not a bad price for like a full length game and everything too. Like I think the first game took me like probably a good 10 to 15 hours to finish, something like that.
Not bad.
No, not at all. So yeah, I'm like super stoked because I think with the pandemic and everything, they didn't have a release date for the game. Like they got pushed back a bunch of times and stuff. So like, and I know they wanted to like really do this game justice. So I am super excited about it. They also have like with the first game, it was like Lone Echo Arena or something like that. So it was like a multiplayer sort of thing that you can do, and you had these like Tron like discs, and you had to like throw them into the goals and stuff. And as you're like floating in these arenas, like kind of pulling yourself using momentum to get around the arena. Super cool, man. It was a lot of fun.
You
Speaking
got more spacey news.
Speaking of other spacey news, I am extremely excited about this.
Yes.
There's a Dead Space remake in the works, and this is gonna be next gen only on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. There's like a teaser trailer for this game, and I believe it's gonna be made by EA Motive. Yes, EA Motive,
Yep.
which they did the Star Wars Squadrons game. Yeah. This is really exciting. I was talking to my brother, and he was like, I don't see why they needed to, but honestly, like, it's been so long, I think, since the first game came out. I think it's,
It has.
like, I don't know that the first game really holds up as well as I remember it. Like, it's probably pretty dated now. And I think, like, I played the second and third one, like, within the last year or two, and they actually did hold up pretty well. But there was a lot
Okay.
more. There was a lot of cool mechanics I think that they added in the second and third game that the first game didn't have. That I think would be really cool to kind of bring this game current again, and utilizing the hardware and stuff that we have now with like the PlayStation
Oh
5
gosh.
and
Yeah.
PC. I think it's gonna be fucking stellar, man. That's gonna be so
Yeah. These
awesome.
these necromorphs are gonna make me shit my pants all over again, especially in like
Seriously.
better resolution and everything.
Oh, I know.
Um,
And the
yeah,
the
and
first
I think it's a good time too because like survival horror games have been kind of back on the rise again too. So
Yeah, with Resident Evil Village coming out, and a lot of people kind of compared it to like Resident Evil 4 and some of the older Resident Evil games. Yeah, I think it's cool to start bringing back some of these, especially Dead Space. I mean, like it's a beloved game, amongst like survival horror and stuff, and it sucks that Visceral Studios closed under EA. Like they were freaking awesome. And I know they had some other. There was like a Star Wars game I think they were working on too under that
yeah, they
studio.
were. I want to say they were working on Star Wars 1313. I think that's the one that they were working on before they got.
No, that was no, that
I
was
guess that
that was
that was
LucasArts.
pandemic. Yeah, LucasArts. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
LucasArts that got
Yeah.
closed, but they were working on a game. Visceral Studios was working on a Star Wars game, and I think that utilized assets from 1313.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was supposed to be very
Or
very
visceral.
similar. I know, man. Like that was supposed to, like I was really excited for that game because I was like, oh my god, this might actually see the light of day. Like very similar to what 1313 was supposed to be, being like this bounty hunter style, like third person Uncharted adventure game within the Star Wars universe, and to see it like shut down, I was so pissed. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, alongside that, we lost Dead Space and stuff, and I think we need to breathe new life into it. And so like hopefully this means like they're gonna do a remake of the first game. Like, does this mean maybe they're gonna like reboot the series, or maybe do like another continuation after like Dead Space 3 to continue on?
Right. I'm hoping that's the case because I had a friend message me that he loves Dead Space and he's like, I wish they just made a new one. I'm like, yeah, me too, but this is probably their way of testing the waters on
Yeah,
how it's gonna like see how well it sells and then they'll kind of go from there. Because it's easy,
yeah.
even though they're remaking it, it's still easier to remake a game than to make a brand new one. So
Right, because yeah, you can yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. If they're gonna test the waters, this is the best way to do it because you can see like, okay, they have a game that's already been made, but can we make it as good, if not better, than what the original one was with the technology we have now? And if that's the case, then they're like, well, if we did a really good job with that one, then let's keep doing that, more of that, and make a new one.
yeah,
I think that's awesome. Um,
glad that EA is listening for once.
for once.
Yeah, we got our Mass Effect. We got our Mass Effects remastered collection, which I never thought was gonna happen,
Yeah, I
but
was
it
wondering if
did.
that was ever
So,
gonna happen too. God damn, man. Yeah, and I think this was announced during like the EA Play showcase or whatever. Um, I don't. I'm trying to think. I was trying to look and see what other stuff was announced at EA Play, but I didn't really see anything that was like super interesting during that. This was like the biggest thing. I was like, nope, this is all I care about. Yeah, so this is super cool. And I think the last the last thing that I wanted to talk about was this game called Outlier. I found this on Road to VR. Um, this game looks really cool. This is done by Joywave. They're an indie VR studio. They've been developing a couple different games. They made this game called Stride, which is essentially like Mirror's Edge in VR. Yeah, like
okay.
cool like parkour and like shooting and stuff, and you can like you can smack the dudes with like your gun and stuff as you're going by them to knock them out. And like I did play that a little bit. It's still in early access, so it still like has a little bit of work to be done on it, but it's still really cool. There was another one called Against, which is like it's a rhythm based noir horror game. Like you're standing there and the enemies are coming at you and you're just like slicing them, and
Yeah.
it's very like noir, but there's like werewolves and shit that come at you, and it's like rhythm based music
Hey.
sort of thing. But this new
It
project,
reminds me of Pistol Whip,
it does,
based on
yeah,
what you're talking
yeah,
about.
except like in Pistol Whip you're moving forward, not the enemies coming at you, but yeah, essentially the same thing. This new game is called Outlier. The trailer looked freaking awesome. It's a roguelite game. Some of it kind of reminds me of like Control a little bit. Like you can jump and like hover and like kind of launch yourself up into the air, and then you're like shooting enemies. And some of the weapons are like very like Control like, where like you have like a pistol that you can fire until like this. There's like a gem on the back of the pistol and it overheats, and then you have to wait for it to cool down. And there's like a little like a cage surrounding the gem, and it'll open, and then you can wave it in the air to cool it down.
Oh, sweet. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And then it
Yeah.
closes, and then you can start firing again. But then there was like another pistol that instead of firing bullets, they're like these shards that come off of the pistol itself, and then you can recall them back to the pistol. It's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds awesome. I
Yeah.
like it.
But then there was like other stuff, like you find these weird like emblems that you can like put in the back of your glove or whatever, and then it gives you different powers. Like you can shoot fireballs, you can use like telekinesis and like pick up things and throw them at enemies, and like some of that reminds me of like Control, where you're like hurling
Yeah.
objects at enemies and stuff like that. Um, it looks interesting. So I guess you're like you play as like a human. Let's see, what was the Okay, yes. Here it says you're a captain of one of the last human arcs in search of a new home for humanity. Your vessel was sucked into a black hole. From your position beyond space and time, you witness an unknown race devastating what looks like a habitable solar system. I can't talk. The unknown physics of the black hole endowed you with mysterious powers and allow you to exist in parallel worlds. Live, die, and repeat in your quest to conquer at least one of these worlds in the name of mankind. So yeah, pretty cool like premise and everything. It looks like it'll be a lot of fun. Graphically, like some of it looks kind of simple, but others like it looks really pretty.
Yeah, it's a very good style choice for
Yeah, which
especially a VR game like this.
right,
For
exactly. And I
sure.
feel like that would like, it's cool to have like amazing graphics in VR, but sometimes when they're like simplistic, they're pleasing to look at, but they're also like easier to
Yeah.
run on your PC as well, running on with a VR headset. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty awesome. I think that was the last bit of news here. So we can go ahead and wrap up here. Um, so we'll get to the retribution/corrections. We're counting on you guys to help us build this podcast into something really great and worth your listen. So if we happen to get anything wrong or mischaracterize things from time to time, which we can do because we're human, this is your opportunity to help support us so we can set the record straight in future episodes. We're counting on you guys to hold our feet to the fire. Just don't burn us too badly now. If you're watching the video versions, again, you can find the links down below right there. Yeah, so that's all the time we have for today's podcast. We really hope that you guys enjoyed what you heard, and we truly appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode of The Digital Denizens. Alec, thank you so much for coming on the show. This was a pleasure, and we'll have to do this again. I'll have to come on your podcast when you're ready for me. So thank you so much. I appreciate
Yes.
you.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, anytime, man. You have no idea how much it truly means that you guys are able to listen. That's not what I wanted to say. Again, words are hard. That we're able to. You have no idea how much it means to you, to me, that we're able to do the podcast. You guys listen right in, and as I always say, hit that like and subscribe button and keep your ear to the ground for more to come very soon, guys. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful night. Peace out, guys.